Hello, Tron.
Yes, hello teacher. Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank teachers.
Good, good. Okay, nice to have you here. And where are you from, Tron?
I'm from Vietnam. Now I live in Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay, great, very good. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Okay, and we have another student. I can't read Cyrillic, I'm afraid. Sorry. What's your name, please?
My name?
Yeah.
I'm Trofim. I'm from Russia.
Okay, sorry. Tell me your name again, please.
Trofim.
Rafi. Rafi?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how are you, Rafi?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay.
And you? And you?
I'm very well. Thank you. Nice. Did you say which city in Russia, Rafi?
Yaroslav.
Okay, I don't know this city. Again? Tell me again.
Yaroslav.
Yaroslav. Okay. And I've never been to Russia, so I don't know. Okay, but we're going to talk about that anyway. You can tell me a lot more about that in this class, okay? Because we're going to talk about the city where you live. And, that's the main theme. We're going to talk about particularly the economics or the finances of that. But yeah, but other things as well. Okay, I'm Steve. I'm from England, although I live in the south of Portugal now, but I'm from England originally. But yeah, we're talking about where you live. We'll read a text that talks about the cost of living in your city, and sort of things you do to save money or to make your money go further, things like that where you live. Okay. So the first question, okay, is your city expensive to live in? This is the main theme. So let's come back to you first, Tom. Ho Chi Minh. Is it an expensive city to live in, do you think?
With my city in Ho Chi Minh City, because it's Ho Chi Minh City is the best country in Vietnam, and it's expensive.
The biggest city.
Yes, it's biggest city, and it's expensive. It's in just in my country. In for my country, it's expensive, but for in the world, it's very cheap. That reason, a lot of foreigners come to Vietnam for living and relax. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Actually, so yes, remember the country. The country is Vietnam, Russia, Portugal, England. The cities: Ho Chi Minh, Yaroslav, if I pronounce it correctly, London, Lisbon, etc. City. Okay. All right. Well done. Come, please say hello to Praveen and ask him the same question, please.
Yes. Hello, Harry. Is your city expensive to live in?
Right, Praveen?
My turn?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I think my city is not expensive city for living because my city have middle prices in our country.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, middle prices or medium prices. Okay, all right. Good. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We have another student has joined us. Hello, Leticia.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Yeah,
Sorry
I'm great,
for
thanks.
today.
No problem. You're here now. Where are you from, Leticia?
I'm from Mexico. I live in Toluca.
In Toluca. Okay. Let's ask you then, Leticia. Is your city, is it expensive to live in?
No, my city is cheap for living because in Mexico, its coin is very cheap than other coins. For example, the dollar is expensive.
Currency.
Currency.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Mexican currency is okay. Yeah, it's
Is higher than the peso, and
yeah.
you can buy a lot of things with $1 in Mexico.
Right. Okay. Okay. You can buy a lot of things with $1, but what about? Do you get your people's salaries are in pesos? Is that right?
Yes, and in Mexico the job it's bad.
Okay.
How do you say that they receive a little money than
Low
other
salary. Yes, a low salary.
a lower salary?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Interesting. So that's important. So yes, we can talk about the currency. Okay, the peso, the dong, the ruble. Okay. But we're going to read a text now. It talks about the salaries and the price of things as well. Okay. But we're going to mix those two together. So let's. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to start reading that. Okay. Okay. Trum, let's start with you. Can you read this title first, please?
Yes. Tourists are the world most expensive city. Salaries go furthest in LA.
Yeah, Zurich is the English way to pronounce this
Yeah.
city. Zurich.
Zurich.
Okay. I'll just put that in. It's quite. Oops, sorry. It's quite. I mean, one name. Quite a commonly mentioned city. So let me just give you the English pronunciation of it.
Zurich.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let's keep going. Keep going, Trum. Can you read this first paragraph, please?
Yes. The Swiss banking capital, Zurich, is still the world's most expensive city, according to the 17th edition of the report from the Swiss bank UBS published today, May 29th.
Yeah, okay, good. One more bit of pronunciation. Make sure it's Tuesday, not today. Okay, I'll give you that as well. Okay, we've got the important part is the Z, Tuesday. Okay, which is different from today.
Yeah,
Okay?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Still there.
Okay, good, well done. Let's keep going. Okay. Plummy, can you read the next two paragraphs, please?
When it comes to prices, Zurich, Switzerland first, Geneva, Switzerland second, and Oslo, Norway third, have the world's highest. The USA also has some pricey cities with New York fifth and Chicago ninth. However, when it comes to buying power, Los Angeles leads the way with LA residents now able to afford almost a quarter more than New Yorkers. Zurich, despite its high prices follows in second place.
Good. Okay, well done. And Letitia, please, the last paragraph.
Also, pricing policies differ from one country to the next. Workers in Zurich will need to work 4.7 days to buy an iPhone X, whereas those in Lagos will need to work 133.3 days to buy it. In China, workers in Beijing will need to work 39.3 days for Apple's flagship smartphone, while for those in Hong Kong, 9.4 days will be sufficient.
Okay, good. Okay, well done. Okay. Right, let's have some questions about this. Cool. A question for you first. What is used to compare salaries and cost of living together in this text? What is used to compare salaries with cost of living?
It's compared to the Geneva, Oslo.
It compares those cities, but how does the report compare salaries with cost of living? Or how does this text compare salaries with cost of living?
Sorry, can you read? What do you mean, teacher?
What does this text use to compare salaries with the cost of living? Buying power is the same thing. Buying power. When you talk about buying power,
yes, buying power.
which two things make up buying power?
In this text, it's here by using buy in a smartphone.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's using a smartphone as a way to compare salaries with cost of living. Okay.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. How much salary? How much the price of an iPhone? That's your buying power. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Well done. Let's have a look at this. Another question. Ravi, which was the most expensive city? Okay, this is only just prices. Which was the most expensive city in the 16th edition of the report? In the previous edition, what was the most?
Yes, I understand this.
Okay.
But
The answer's in here.
don't understand where.
One word can give you the answer.
Still. Yeah. In the sixth edition of a report from Swiss Bank UBS, Zurich is most expensive city in the world.
Exactly. It didn't change. Exactly. Okay. So Zurich is still no change from the one before. Okay, good. We got that. Okay. It was the most expensive in the 16th, and it's still the most expensive in the 17th. Okay, good. Well done. And Letitia, a question for you. What can we assume about salaries in Zurich?
Well, the salary is very good because they can work only 2 days or have a iPhone that is very expensive in other countries or in other countries.
Yeah, it says that here, yes, there's 4.7 days to buy an iPhone. Despite high prices, okay, it's second for buying power. So maybe it's expensive, but the salaries are also very high. So we can assume the salaries are high in Zurich. Okay, good, right, well done. We'll leave that there, well done, good job. So yes, we've talked about buying power, okay, like your salary and then the price of things, okay. Put those together. That's your buying power. Zurich, high prices, but high salary. It's still 16 and 17, still expensive. Right, that talks about iPhones. iPhones are very nice, but a new question now, okay? What, okay, in your opinion, okay, are the important ways to judge if a city, or to judge a city's buying power? Okay, so that talks about iPhones. Okay, iPhones. Okay, how many days' work to buy one iPhone? But in your opinion, what's important to show if a city is expensive or if it's good to live in or bad to live in? I don't mind. Trump, Letitia, who wants to speak first? What's important for you? Is it an iPhone or are there other things you should think about?
Well, iPhone is very important, but no, not enough. Well, I think that in my opinion, the buying power that the people have, maybe can you ensure with the salaries on their works, because maybe in a city in an expensive city you can earn more than in a cheaper city, and you can buy different things. For example, your basic elements that you can find in your diet, you can buy frequently than other people that live in a cheaper city, that they can buy this basic food.
Basic needs we talk about. Yeah, the basic needs, the food, the money for the house, electricity, etc. Basic needs, we would call them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. iPhones are nice, but food, electricity, petrol. Okay, I'm going to ask another question now. Okay, and again, it's a question for all of you. Okay, Trump, Praveen, Letitia. Okay, what ways do you save money in your city? So, are there things about your city that are good? Maybe it has cheap public transport, for example, or maybe it has cheap restaurants or things like that, cheap entertainment. What ways can you save money? Because what's cheap in your city? I don't mind. Any of you?
Yes, I think before I talk about the sell money, I want to talk about the power buying power in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, all my people like to the iPhone. It's very important, and all the people try to buy the new iPhones, and but the salary in Vietnam very low, and it's I think about that they need to sell at least 2 or 3 months your salary for buy an iPhone. But on people, yeah, and but on people using the iPhone in Vietnam, And when the new version of iPhone helps, and the price in Vietnam is very high, it's a double price, not in a normal. Because in Vietnam, yeah, in Vietnam love the iPhone. I think it's a world. And when the first time the iPhone held, and people in Vietnam try to held iPhone to show with everybody's ear, they are rich or to the modern like this, and they pay the extra money. Sometimes it's double money with the right from the Apple. Yes, yes, extra money. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So people spend a lot of money on iPhones. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine. Okay. Okay. But good. It's a good answer. Good answer. Hold on. Hold on. Just yes. We kept it. There's extra money.
Extra.
Spend.
Yeah, it spends.
Every consonant. Spend. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Well done. Thank you. John, Franny, let's come to you. We haven't heard from you for a while. Tell us a bit about your city. What's expensive in your city, and what's cheap in your city? What can you spend money on easily in your city?
The in Vietnam, in my city, the cost for living is cheap, and it depends on you. It has some like it's very expensive, but it's some like it's very cheap, and it depends on you. If you uh, if you want to cheap, it's cheap. If you want to expensive, it's expensive, because it depends on your choice. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you, John. Franny, how about you? Tell us about your city. What's the good value in your city? What's not? Franny.
In my city, the air is the most pure. And with job. And I think if we define a level of living in a city, we must no.
What things are good value? Maybe is the food cheap, or the money for the house, or petrol, or beer, wine, entertainment, transport. What things are good value?
I think good value is a rent of house or apartment, and prices for food.
Okay.
Prices of food.
Food prices. Okay, they're good value. Okay. Is that compared with other parts in Russia? Is it cheaper than other cities in Russia? In your city?
Well, in my country, I think the food is cheaper, and price of house or apartment is not high.
Okay. So is that general for Russia? Sorry,
yes. But we have high prices for entertainment. I mean, restaurant, bar,
Okay.
and other entertainment.
Right. Okay. So if you go out, it's a lot of money. But if you stay in your house, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Good. Well done. We've still got a few minutes left, so we'll have one more question. We've talked a lot about money. Okay, we have a bit of pronunciation, Zurich, Tuesday, spend. Okay, a bit of vocabulary as well. Low salary, basic needs. But we're going to talk more generally now. Okay. Not just money, but other things. Okay. What is the best thing about living in your city? Okay. So money, or maybe the environment, or the people, or the football team, or the food, anything. What's the best thing about living in your city? You're in Toluca. Leticia, what's the best thing about living in Toluca?
Well, in Toluca, there are a lot of malls, and it's the best in the city. Well,
A lot of
malls, a lot of malls, like supermarket that they sell
malls.
Yes. But well, I live in Toluca since 2003, but before I live in Veracruz, in I think that Veracruz is better than Toluca because there are a lot of different landscape, and you can enjoy uh, your environment. For example, you can visit the ocean, you can watch the waves of the ocean.
Okay.
For me, it's better. You can walk in the streets with a few cars, and you can enjoy with your family.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Toluca, it's bad. I don't like Toluca.
You don't like? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's a shame. Okay, but it has a lot of more. Okay, it's got something else. Okay. All right. Bradley, let's come back to you. What's the best thing about living in Yaroslav? I can't remember.
Yes, my city is Yaroslav. Everybody in Yaroslav thinks that the best things in our city is Lokomotiv. It is ice hockey team.
Oh, okay.
But I sure that the best thing of our city is Shinnik. It is a football team, soccer team.
Okay. Chile. Do they play in the top division?
No, in second division.
Second division. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good answer anyway. But ice hockey is more popular than football in Yugoslav?
Yes, it is, and ice hockey most popular in Russia than football in Russia.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Good answer. Okay. Interesting. Well done. Thank you. I'm sure. What's the best thing about living in Ho Chi Minh?
Yes, I think in Ho Chi Minh City is bad thing is the housing, because the house is go up, the housing it go up maybe from to 20 to 50% is a year, and that reason it's expensive for using the house in Vietnam.
Okay, that's a bad thing. What's the best thing? What's the best thing about?
Bad thing.
Best, very good.
Very good. I think it's in my city it's better. It's a food. Yes, and it's on it's a have on a food if you want, and it's very cheap. Yes,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
delicious.
that's true.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. I've never been to Mexico, never been to Russia, but I've been to Vietnam, been to Ho Chi Minh, and I think the best two things about Ho Chi Minh: the temperature, it's hot all year round, and very cheap beer.
Yes.
Cheap beer.
Yes.
Beer Hoy. I like Beer Hoy. Very cheap.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. Very interesting. very interesting, all of you. Thank you very much. Our time is finished. A little bit of pronunciation, mostly. Yes, we talked about Tuesday, malls, extra, bend. So Zurich. So a few bits of vocabulary as well. Salary, basic needs. All right, good. Thank you very much. Have a good night have a good evening in Yaroslav. Have a good day in Toluca. See you next time. Bye bye.
Yes, bye, teacher.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye.